We'll go live.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is a good morning. It's Thankful Thursday.
Is it?
It is Thursday, September 26th.
Okay, if you say so.
I do, because it says it right there.
And we're live.
And we're live. Yes. We tried to go live on YouTube this morning also so that the YouTube feed wouldn't be wonky and then I wouldn't have to upload it later. But my computer said no thank you.
Yes, we determined that your computer is not quite powerful enough to
Quite work.
To do that.
So, good morning, Tamara Lou. So we'll do it here, and then we will save it over there the old-fashioned way.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, the reason the video is up and down is because we're doing live on Instagram. We save it to YouTube because a lot of people don't get a chance to see this at 9 o'clock in the morning Central.
So eventually we will figure out how to go live on YouTube, but not this day.
We're in no hurry.
Oh, Oakbrook says he brought popcorn. Are you sharing with the group, or are you just going to eat it in front of all of us?
Popcorn at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Right? I think he thinks we have something exciting to say today.
You better be having beer with that.
Beer and popcorn at 9?
Oh, yeah. Breakfast of champions.
Right? So, excited to be here and chat with everyone this morning. Are you excited?
As opposed to any other day? I'm excited.
I'm here sort of awake. Good morning. I hope you all have coffee. So as we kind of let everybody get into the chat.
Yeah, there's breaking news that I'm sure nobody has heard about yet.
But while we wait for... Oh, Tamara Lou says bourbon. Bourbon at 9 a.m. There you go. So while we wait for everybody to get into the chat, how have you been? How many...
You're like the waitress that goes by the table when I got a big old mouth of food. How's your food?
Send coffee. Oh, the lazy reseller. You're in California. You're up early. How's this week been?
Busy. I'm shocked it's already Thursday. The weeks go by so fast.
The weeks definitely do go by fast. Yeah, what news, Don says. What news? Yes, how would you make money if eBay went away? We're going to get there. Mm-hmm. Hang around for a minute. So, yeah, it's been a busy week. We are full on fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. So just really, really busy.
Yep. Sales have been...
Knock on wood, really good. Across the board, we're seeing good, steady fourth quarter increases. So, yeah, we've got some new projects that we're working on, which, it's fourth quarter. Isn't that like the perfect time to take on a brand new project?
Absolutely.
Makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. But we're always trying to expand and grow.
Yes.
Which kind of leads us into...
what we're talking about today. See how we did that?
Do you like that segue?
I did like that segue. So yesterday, it was announced that Devin Winnick, the CEO of eBay, was stepping down.
That's what it was announced.
Yes. That's what they said. Which, of course, is big news, and everybody kind of went, oh my God. Now, this is something that you and I privately have been talking about, like this was coming. The writing was on the wall.
I've seen the writing on the wall since the beginning of the year.
Yes.
When they had a very high turnover rate of the VPs.
Yeah.
They had, 4 or 5 of them.
There's been a lot of change in upper management lately. That's always
That's a strong indicator.
That's always a strong indicator. But to really understand, in our opinion, and this is all our opinion.
Yes.
So you get what you paid for. So in our opinion, to really understand this, you have to go back to, I think it was January. There was a investor in eBay. They had bought 4% of eBay, and he wrote a letter to just kind of to whom it may concern about the state of affairs at eBay. And it was not...
It was a scathing letter, to put it...
Nicely.
I mean,
yes.
He
laid it all out.
We were able to see the letter.
Yeah.
It was published on the internet. Unfortunately, we couldn't find it.
The website where it had been housed whatever, is now down.
So we tried to find it so we could quote some things on there. But, I mean, he laid it on the line and basically said things like, you know...
The direction of eBay has gone a course, and...
Yeah, it's failing. You're working on, like, artificial intelligence when you should be focusing on just having the system run every day. It's basically what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but...
Yes.
It was very eye-opening. It was actually refreshing to hear somebody who's investing in this company say these things that we've basically all been feeling and talking about.
So what was interesting to us about that letter were two things. One, at the end of the letter, he said that he wanted a seat on the board of directors. And there was another investor that felt the same way. They also wanted a seat on the board. And the author of that letter, his mother
sells on eBay.
Is a big eBay seller. So had kind of inner working knowledge from our standpoint as sellers of what's been going on the site, what works, what doesn't, the frustrations of your average seller. So that was interesting. So then fast forward a few months, and he gets a seat on the board of directors, and the other investor, who also feels the same way, gets a seat on the board of directors.
Yeah.
So 2 out of 14.
Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say. Now, that's 2 seats out of a 14-seat board of directors. So they've got a very large influence.
And what they wanted was to have eBay do a full review of like their finances, the entire company as a whole. And with the idea that they wanted to see StubHub, which eBay owns, and eBay Classifieds Group sold off. eBay Classifieds Group is a conglomerate of different, like Craigslist type of sites across the country. Gumroad, though here in the U.S., is part of that. Kijiji, I may be saying that incorrectly, but that's like the Craigslist of Canada. Those are owned by eBay. So those investors wanted those things sold off. Evidently, according to Bloomberg, MarketWatch, all of those, Winnig did not agree with the selling off of those.
And I think that was in Winnig's Twitter when he posted, this is per Devin Winnig's Twitter 23 hours ago. And again, 23 hours based on today. In the past few weeks, it became very clear that I was not on the same page as my new board. Whenever that happens, it's best for anyone to turn that page over. It has been an incredible privilege and lead of the world's greatest business over the past 8 years.
So they didn't agree. Bloomberg is reporting that he was fired. There are other places reporting that he stepped down. Either way, he's no longer with the company.
It probably was a mutual,
I would guess,
parting of ways. It was probably, listen, we're not happy. Either you step down. And again, this is pure speculation.
It's just generally kind of how these things work.
Yeah.
So Oakbrook says those are totally unrelated businesses, so a spinoff makes sense, just like PayPal was done previously. Which is, excuse me, the next point. If you've been around for a while, we've been here before.
Yeah, several times.
You've
been several times.
Yeah, we've been in this same position before, where we had a CEO, and an investor comes in and says, "I think that you need to break apart the company and sell off XYZ." In the past, that was Donahoe with PayPal. Donahoe said he was all on board with it, whatever. But that investor pushed and pushed and pushed until PayPal was sold off. And PayPal and eBay broke apart. Donahoe ends up going to PayPal. We get Devin Winnig to lead eBay. So we've been in this position before. We kind of know the ropes here. So these things will most likely get sold off. This fall, that whole report is supposed to come out, But the market as a whole is foreseeing that StubHub and eBay Classifieds Group will get sold off, which leaves them then with just eBay Marketplace.
Yep.
What does that mean for all of us? Well, it means that we have an interim CEO for the time being.
Yes.
Until they get somebody new. So that's kind of like having the sub at school.
Yep.
When you had the sub at school, the sub doesn't really do anything fancy. They just make you sit there and...
Yeah, it's going to be business as usual for a time being.
Yeah. So nothing wild. He's not going to come in typically. Now, of course, there are always wild cards. But typically speaking, it's just like the sub at school. It's going to be totally business as usual until that new CEO is hired. Frugal Living says, I think it's great if they sell it off, more resources for eBay marketplaces. So yeah, it could absolutely be that way. If their focus then becomes eBay marketplace, just like all of us, if your focus gets too diversified, you're trying to go in too many different directions, you don't do any one thing well.
Yep. Yep. And we actually discussed this, and we've been discussing this, that, privately, that you get too spread out and you're not doing any one thing well. So yeah, when that new CEO comes in though, then we will all kind of have to watch and listen to what he says, what he sees as the direction of the company. There have been rumors that by selling those off and leaving Marketplace then as one entity, they could then sell eBay Marketplace, or that eBay Marketplace could merge with another company. Yeah, it's now a small enough entity that it could, but that all depends on the FCC.
FCC, if they decide it is or not, depends on, what that board wants to do. But yeah, so of course, mergers of major corporations happen all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
So could this be setting up Marketplace to either merge or get sold to some other yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. Of course. None of that would make sense without a wild card before the payment processor is totally in place, before all of those sales go through, before all of that happens. So you're looking at a very long term issue here.
Yeah, not something you need to worry about today. Not something you need to worry about for fourth quarter.
No. That's good for us that it could, otherwise we risk a set. I don't foresee a sudden shut. eBay's way too big of a company to just go under.
Yeah.
It just is. The market is there, the buyer is there, there's too much product.
Yeah, and eBay is still making money.
Yes, which eBay turns a profit.
Kind of brings me another point of, I've heard a lot of speculation as to why
this happened.
They weren't making enough money.
Yes.
Is what it really, I think, boils down to.
Always follow the money.
Yeah, it's a business. I mean, let's think of it logically. I mean, they're a business. They have investors. Yep. The investors have invested a lot of money for this company, and they want to see returns on their investments. They're not keeping up with growth of e-commerce as a whole.
Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, eBay is growing every year. They are. They're growing by about 2% right now. But that's not keeping up with e-commerce growth. E-commerce growth is in the mid-20s.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, so eBay's not growing at a fast enough pace. eBay's GMV, their gross market value, which means the amount of products for sale on their site, has been on a decline for at least the last year.
Yeah.
And that's concerning to investors. If you don't have enough product, then there's not enough stuff to sell. And eBay doesn't have its own product that it can bring in, so the only money they make is off of transactions. Yes, Girl and Coconut, profit margins are down. And appeasing shareholders is always the number one priority. These are the kinds of things that happen, to try and show, better numbers for Q4. So, just, and interesting to look at, okay, their GMV is down, their overall profits, they're not keeping up growth pace with
e-commerce
as a whole. As a whole.
What's the one e-commerce site that's just growing huge?
Shopify.
Shopify
is
number
really
2.
big. Yeah, so that's all going to lead to investors to say, whoa, maybe we need a change of direction here.
Yeah.
So clearly that's what's happened. But yeah, more than likely, nothing changes for you and I for at least the next year. Because even when the new guy comes in, it's going to take him a while to get set and get those new policies and new ideas and that sort of thing going. But I do want to say that we still work for a company. Like, we all want to say we own our own businesses.
We do in a sense.
And to the IRS, we do. But the fact of the matter is, if all of your income is coming from eBay, you work for eBay.
Yeah.
And if eBay decides to go some crazy new direction that doesn't support your sales, then all of a sudden you're in a lot of trouble. So understanding what you would do if eBay went sideways. What would you do? If I couldn't sell on eBay tomorrow, what would I do?
Do you have a plan B in place?
Do you have a plan B in place? So
well, and are you 100% on eBay? Or are you 100% on Amazon? Or are you 100% on Etsy? Yeah. It's just not a good idea to be 100% on any one platform. Because I'm not just speaking as eBay, I'm speaking any platform.
Yeah.
Amazon, you could get kicked in an hour for something crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So having that plan B in place, and not only just saying, okay, well, if eBay if eBay got hacked tomorrow, the whole site goes down, there's some sort of major hack, what would you do? Instead of just saying, oh, well, I'd just take all of my stuff and I'd list it on Poshmark. Okay, well, do you know how to list on Poshmark? Mm-hmm. Do you have an account set up on Poshmark? Do you understand their shipping processes? How long is the learning curve going to be for you before you can be back up and running? Is that even a viable option? Have you tested it at all? So not just saying, where would I go? What would I do? But actually having those accounts set, having a basic understanding of the system, how it works, what sells there. Denim and Thrift, they don't have to get hacked you are correct, they don't have to get hacked for the whole site to go down. Yes, somebody in IT could just pull the plug and it could all go down. But yeah, so having that plan B in place, though, is what's going to safeguard you. Most people would just get a normal job, I think, and maybe that's your plan B. Maybe your plan B is...
It's not my plan B.
I'd just go back to work. Ritzner Vintage says, my Amazon was deactivated 2 weeks ago. I'm losing hundreds. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but proof and point.
It happens.
Make sure you're diversified.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's going to take you time to try and get that account back if you can. So,
yeah. It's
and we're not saying we have an inner knowledge of what's coming for eBay. We don't know.
We just started with, this is our opinion.
Yeah. But I do foresee changes. And again, my opinion, I foresee a new CEO coming in.
Oh, well, clearly they're going to have a new CEO.
And, well, yes, that's a given. But I do foresee changes.
Yes.
There's going to be changes. And there's always changes with eBay. They're always changing things. So, but with Devin being out, reasons being that they're not keeping up with market growth.
They're going to have to do something.
They're going to have to do something. And what that is, we all don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So...
Yes, Denim and Thrift, my shirt is J. Crew. eBay's a platform. I don't work for eBay. Maybe that's a bad analogy. It means what I'm saying is that your business depends on eBay.
Yeah, so if eBay decides tomorrow that you can't sell used items.
Yeah. They're done with used items.
So, I mean, you're going to be in a pinch.
And we say that because when the housing market crashed, Matt worked for a housing
building supply.
So like you did supply for major like big subdivisions and that sort of thing, not like hammering a nail.
A hammer and a nail.
Yeah. And there was a day that you walked in and they said, okay, you're going to go and you're going to take 10 furlough days this month. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get 10 days off and we're not going to pay you. And all of a sudden we were like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? We're just not going to get 2 weeks worth of pay this month.
And the sad thing was, it was a big learning experience for us, was we both saw it coming. We both saw a decline in housing and really didn't have that plan B put in place.
Yeah, and so that's why we are really cautious now to always have that plan B in place. Because you just never know. You never know what's going to happen with the market. You never know what's going to happen when you wake up tomorrow. If you woke up tomorrow and just your eBay account had been hacked and you couldn't get in, and your PayPal account had been hacked, whatever it is there a plan B in place so that you can still continue to make money and continue to run your business? So that's why we are always trying to learn new sites, learn new platforms, get that base knowledge of other places so that we always have that plan B.
Yeah. Yeah. And for all those people that are like, yay, Devin got fired, be careful what you wish for. Because we've been down this road before. And sometimes it doesn't always get better.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, Katie did thrift. This is exactly why I don't want to let my nursing license lapse. It's a safety net. And a safety net that none of us want to have to jump into.
But it's always good to have a safety net.
Yeah.
You don't go on an ocean cruise when there's no lifeboats on the ship. I mean...
Yes. Posh and Mercari would love it if eBay said no used it. Oh, they absolutely would.
Oh, absolutely would. And I don't see that.
Yeah, they would be insane to do like that.
That's a huge portion. I mean, that's basically that's how that company got founded, was on used items. So
yeah,
I don't foresee that. I was just using it as an example, but
you never know.
You never know. I mean,
yeah, it was harder to be a seller under Donahoe. Way harder. Yeah. So those of us that have been around for a long time, like we've been through some. Mm-hmm. We've been through some changes. So when John Donahoe got the CEO position, he came in and said that the problem with the site at that point was that there were too many bad sellers that were creating bad customer experiences.
And he wasn't wrong. I don't think he was wrong. I think they were getting a bad
reputation. Mm-hmm. So his solution to that was to bring in hard and fast, black and white seller metrics. And a lot of people woke up to no eBay accounts.
Yeah. They
got axed immediately. They were done. It was off with your head. It was what it was. So those of us that have been around for a while remember that. That's not something you forget when all of a sudden your friends are saying, whoa, wait a minute. I've been selling for all of these years. I've sold hundreds of thousands of dollars on the site. And now you're saying I'm a bad seller and I can't sell anymore. It happened. It absolutely happened. Yes, the defect system.
And the star ratings he put into place. And
that was all under Donahoe. So those things happen. And it took some time. I think most of those people got their accounts back and got back up and running. Those of them who wanted them, there was one guy who just said goodbye and started his own website and is doing really well. But he knew how to do that. He had a plan in place. He knew what he'd do, where he was going, and off he went. Some of the YouTube gurus would have been wrecked whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't foresee any major changes, like we said, over fourth quarter.
No.
Business as usual. Business as usual. They're not going to want to make any major changes until the new CEO comes in. Typically, hiring a CEO takes some time. So
we may not see a vetting process that they're going to have.
We may not see a new CEO until first quarter.
Yeah, we might see one tomorrow. They might be, already have somebody in mind. We don't know.
Yeah.
But just be cautious.
Yeah, but those are the things you want to watch for. Are we done with seller updates until spring? Well, now Denim and Thrift, who knows? Mm-hmm. Who knows?
As long as they have the interim CEO in, I don't foresee any kind of updates whatsoever. I don't think the interim CEO
major.
is gonna shake anything up right now.
Yes, they are located in California. They are in San Jose. Those glitches cost Devin his credibility with the board too. Yeah, for sure. When he had to come out last summer, when he had to come out and say, we screwed up, our systems don't work at eBay Open, that wasn't a great moment for him.
Yeah, but that wasn't the bottom line. Like I've heard several people say it was because of the promoted listing glitch.
No. This has been coming for a long time.
Yeah, this has been coming for a while.
And he just didn't agree with the way the direction the board wants to take the company.
Well,
and that's okay.
And again, it comes down to money.
Yeah.
They weren't keeping up with internet growth, e-commerce growth. They weren't keeping up with it.
Follow the money.
Yeah, it comes down to money.
Always does. So today, no major changes, but things to watch for. When the new CEO comes in, where does he come from?
Mm-hmm. What kind of background does he have?
What kind of background does he have?
Yep.
We may not see changes, but timing says a lot. Having worked for a Fortune 10 company for 20 years, costs are getting cut in Q4 one way or another.
Yeah.
True that. We've both been there. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, so where does he come from? Does he come from a retail background? Does he come from a financial background? Those things are all indicators of what his thinking will be.
And where
he or she, yes.
Where eBay, the investors of eBay want to see eBay go.
Yes. Did you read anything into the timing of his resignation basically at the start of Q4? I don't think it was planned. My opinion would be the board thought he would get on board with them. He would go along with them, and he said no.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it was...
With the sale of StubHub and...
eBay Classifieds Group. Mm. So I don't think it was planned. I think it was probably a shock to a lot of people. But, I would not want to be CEO of that company. There's no way.
I'm throwing my hat in the ring.
Your tinfoil hat? We had that conversation yesterday.
But the one thing that is encouraging with all this is these new investors, with the email that they sent to the rest of the board, it was very seller biased as far as you need to do better things for the sellers. The sellers can't sell the way they should be able to sell on the site. So that was very encouraging. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if that pans out or not, but...
Yeah. And the fact that guy's mom is a big seller on eBay.
Yeah.
And, assumably, he wants to do right by his mother. So, the interim CEO is the former, I guess, chief financial officer of eBay. So he's going to be very focused on meeting those numbers and making sure that, all the numbers balance. And will he be cutting costs? Probably. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, the good side to this is that the letter and the board seems to be focused on marketplace, focused on creating a marketplace where sellers can sell with ease, not just a buyer can buy.
Yeah.
So fixing these glitches, fixing the basics of the site. eBay has been upsetting sellers for a long time. I'm looking for it. Yeah, they have. It hasn't been great. So hopefully, hope springs eternal. The new guy will be new person will be more seller focused and want to bring the marketplace into 2020
and not 1990.
The app is antiquated. Yeah, they've got a lot of issues, and I mean, we could all give them a laundry list of issues.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're going to do what makes them the most money.
Yes.
Because again,
never forget that.
It comes down to money. They're a business. They're there to make money. They have to appease the shareholders. So that's the bottom line. If 1,000 people say we need this and the shareholders feel like they need something else, they're going to do what the shareholders want. So
it's a publicly traded company.
Yeah, keep that in mind. But we'll see. I mean, we can only hope that things will be better for sellers and.
Yeah, but you don't think eBay's going anywhere anytime soon?
No.
I don't. Do you think they'll undo the PayPal change? Absolutely not.
No, that's
a done deal.
Yeah.
So the market is still there. Buyers are still there. We're still selling stuff every single day. Even if eBay gets sold or merges with somebody else, that market still exists. Mm-hmm. And the market is the market. If there's a demand for the product, then there will be somewhere to sell that product. Poshmark sold a lot of stuff with way less corporate employees. Yes, but Poshmark isn't turning a profit yet. Mm-mm. So GameStop has been going through a lot of changes. Husky Hustler says, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and with GameStop, that marketplace has changed. Mm-hmm. You went from a physical product that you were selling to a digital download. Of course, I have a very close working knowledge of GameStop. So everything's going to digital downloads. Yeah. And I don't think GameStop kept up with that trend. So
the same way that Kodak didn't keep up with the digital camera trend.
Yeah.
So a lot of changes coming. Change isn't always bad. eBay's not going to go under. You're not going to, it's okay. But have a plan B in place.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely diversify. Absolutely make sure you have a plan B in place, because we don't know what changes are coming. There could be a change that doesn't affect you well.
Yeah.
And you just want to be prepared.
Yeah.
And that's probably the best advice.
Always, always, always have that savings account, that cushion, that you can still pay your bills until you find a regular job, if that's your plan B. That's not our plan B.
No. I was just thinking of what the spring seller update's going to be like.
Oh, it's going to be a wild ride. That's my opinion on that one. It's going to be a wild ride. But all good stuff. We are only 35 minutes. If you are coming to Ecom Chicago in October, send me a DM and let me know. Hopefully there's going to be some people there that we can hang out with and get to talk to and see. Ecom Chicago has a whole bunch of different speakers. They have what's called Coach's Corner, where you can sign up for 20 minutes to talk to any of their speakers. They have speakers about all sorts of different things. And then we are in the Coach's Corner. You can come and talk to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one-on-one time with Matt and Cindy.
Yeah. Talk about whatever you want.
You get 15 minutes.
No, it's 20.
Oh, it's 20 minutes.
But then we'll be there the entire duration of the event. So we will talk for as long as you want in the hallway, in the back of the room, wherever. There will be eBay employees there also. So if you have a specific, somebody was talking about, I think it was Katie D. Thrift, the app being antiquated and needing the app to be better. If you want to bring in a younger seller, you're absolutely right. Getting yourself in front of an eBay employee to say those things is the best way that we can change.
This might be a great opportunity to try and get some inside information. I'm not saying that they'll say anything, but you'll have an opportunity to talk.
Yeah.
There'll be a couple of eBay people there, so.
Yeah, and you can sign up for the Coach's Corner with them.
Mm-hmm.
And have them look at your account and say, this is what I would do, or this is what you're doing well, or what you're not doing well. So, it's Ecom Chicago. It is in the suburbs of Chicago, 16th through the 18th of October, I want to say.
It's whenever you tell me I have to go.
Yes, and we did totally change the direction of our speech. So it's still going to be on Instagram, but we are going to...
Bring the fire hose, because something's going to be burning.
Something that we don't talk a lot about on here is that I do some small business consulting for social media. Worked with an investor to analyze small businesses, if they're a good investment or not, based off of their social media and their e-commerce platforms. So we're going to talk more about that, how to become an influencer if you want to become an influencer, how to find an influencer to promote your product, how to know if an influencer is full of it, or if they're actually an influencer that can bring your company revenue.
I would probably word that as, how do you know if the influencer is a good fit for your business?
I'm just going to say full of it.
But you could just say it however you want to.
Because, what do I care?
Because all full influencers are awesome.
I actually come from an accounting background, but yeah, public speaking has never bothered me. But thank you.
She just likes to talk.
I just like to talk.
Until she's tired, and then her talker breaks.
Yes. Yeah, so bring the tea, Oakbrook. You should come. It's going to be fun. I promise. So that is coming up in October. Any other news or information that you would like to share? That's all you got.
Do you really want me to start spotting out things that I have ideas about that you know?
I hope you record the talk and load it to YouTube. I don't think that that's allowed. I don't think I'm allowed to.
Yeah, because this is their
event.
Their event, so.
So I don't think I'm allowed to. But what we say the following week, right here, you never know. You never know. Sometimes I'm just done talking about things. And then I'm just done.
Yeah.
So, did you just promise fun? I did just promise fun. Coal City Loot. You should come. Yes, we will have fun. I promise. But Denver, I don't think I can live stream it because that is their event.
Yeah, and it's not fair to the other people that have paid money for tickets.
Yeah,
for
to
us
get in.
Just freely.
Yeah.
Even though it's just our.
Yeah.
I would love to live stream it, but I couldn't. You can't.
So,
But you should fly into Chicago.
Denim and Thrift, you should come.
Yeah.
So we've got that coming up. We are working on some other projects this fall, some of that kind of stuff, stuff that's not necessarily interesting to resellers. Yes, look for another hat for Matt. Save with Sue brought Matt a fantastic hat last year. That was awesome.
We still have it.
We do still have it. And yeah, we will all hang out. So hope to see you there. If you're coming, send me a DM.
Yeah, and hopefully us talking about the changes at eBay we're able to clear things up and make you feel a little bit more comfortable, or at least give you some awareness as to what's going on.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And, doesn't change anything right now, but it is what it is, and we will all get through it together. Make sure you have a plan B, though. Always, always, always have a plan B.
See Jimmy hat. I'll look it up, Wolf.
Yes, we will look it up, Wolf. So have a great day. If you missed the first part of this, I will save it to YouTube. If you are on YouTube, thank you for watching. What do I say? Subscribe, comment,
like, subscribe, comment.
Hit the little bell notification. I don't know.
And again, this is all our opinions. Some of this we were able to get off the internet, which was from writing from the source. But most of this is our opinion. So if you don't agree with it, I'm sorry. But
it's okay.
It's opinion.
It's okay. we don't mind.
That's how they work.
Yeah, everybody has one. All right, you guys have a great Thursday. Go make lots and lots of money. Q4 is here. Yay. Bye.